What's happening, Boot Junkies? Mike Delgadio here, back with another video on home studio setup for voiceover. And really, this one is about home studio setup because I'm trying to set up my new home studio. My last video about this was several weeks ago, and really not that much has happened because progress has been very slow. A bit of it probably is my complacency because my whisper room is set up upstairs, so I can still record. I'm still working every day, which has made this room go a little bit more slowly. But patience is running out with Mrs. Boot Junkie, believe it. So what has happened so far? I did hire an electrician to come out and fix the lights. That was my #1 priority, so I do have LED lighting down here. I noticed that sometimes it makes the camera flicker. Bummer. I didn't know that. They didn't know that, but it seems to flicker at 60 hertz, 60 frames per second sometimes. I get some flicker. Hopefully it's not too bad in this video. You can see I've started to put up my acoustic paneling. Now, this is temporary acoustic paneling. This is mostly just to see what kind of acoustics I can get out of this room before I build or buy a booth, whatever ends up happening. These are the same acoustic panels I had in my last studio. These were behind my desk, and I have 4 of them around. I have them laterally because there's some lateral ones over here. See, this is where I'm going to be doing my recording and stuff like that. So you can see they're there to try and make my monitors sound better. So I don't get too much reverb and echo when I'm listening to music or when I'm editing my videos, my voice, anything like that. So I have those there. These on the back are 2-inch Owens Corning 703 panels. They just hang with a wire. These are picture, just picture wire. And so this is 2-inch OC 703 and 1x4s. I am really not much of a carpenter. It's not my skill set. So but these are super simple to make. I just bought the little L brackets, 1x4. I think I had a saw and a screwdriver and a little bit of wire. Very little tooling that goes into it. These are just a bit more durable than the ones you've seen me make before where it's just super light with the 4-inch where you just weave a wire through. If you want to make a structure that's a little bit more permanent, you can do it with wood, burlap. These were super cheap to make. But these just hang on the wall, and these really don't weigh much more than a framed picture. So acoustic paneling, that's all there is to that. And I have, not level, but I have 4 of them across the back, and those are all 2 inches. And that is to try and keep any echo coming from my monitors back at me, just to make it sound better. So what's next? Next, and this is part of the reason that it's been going very slowly, is the electricity in this house is old, and the power panel, the circuit breaker box, is completely full. There's only 100 amps in this house, and every circuit was taken up. So in order to get sufficient power down here, I had them, fix one circuit for me temporarily, so I could at least hook up my computer and my monitors and my lights and all the myriad stuff that just goes on down in this room just for my daily work. But there really isn't sufficient power down here because I still need a whole nother setup over here. I still have to have a monitor, my interface, my studio rack, which is down here, completely unplugged, all my studio equipment, my real equipment down here that I use, my preamps, and all that stuff. None of that stuff is hooked up, hasn't been hooked up yet. I've been just using my Audient ID22 up in the booth, which is great, but I'd certainly like to have my pro equipment down here. But I don't have sufficient power down here. I got to get UPS, I got to get backups, all of that stuff. Then, after they finish that, so there's still inspections that needs to happen. They got to come and replace everything that's there, all of that stuff. So in the meantime, I'm going to try and address the ceiling in this room, mostly just from a sound and insulation perspective. This is the living room. As people walk on the hardwood, it comes down here. I'd like to attenuate that if I can, for whatever I can. So I have put some screws in here. If you saw my Insta post, I put screws up through the floor to try and secure the floor to the floorboards. This is like 60 years old. These floors are probably 60 years old at least, so they squeak a little bit, so I've tried to secure them a little bit to try and reduce the amount of foot noise that comes through. And then you saw me bring it down. I have some insulation that I'm going to put up. So that is Owens Corning Thermafiber mineral wool. But really the only thing that we need to worry about is that it's mineral wool. It could have been Roxol, could have been a couple of other ones. But I'm going to put mineral wool up here. Mineral wool, you'll see it, it says fire and sound guard. So one, it's a fire retardant. It doesn't burn it like up to like 2,000 degrees. So it will provide a bit of protection from a fire. Should anything break out, it will slow the progress of fire. That's good. But it also is a bit of an acoustic attenuator. It will reduce the sound a little bit. I have reasonably low expectations for how much it's going to do, but I'll take anything I can get. So I have 2 bats now. These packages, not terribly expensive. We'll see how it does, but those are only like 40 bucks and it does 50 square feet. So the other thing I'm evaluating is, can I use this in whatever my new booth area is going to be? I don't know, because I still haven't finalized my build versus buy decision. I don't really know. The buy decision is hard. The stuff that I can get is expensive and still doesn't match exactly what I need, so I might be going down the buy path. But my number one biggest concern about anything that I put in is I have very low confidence in myself that I get it right the first time. I've already set up this side like 3 times. I don't have any expectation that I'm going to get that right the first time. That desk has been in 3 different places. It was here, then it was over there in that corner, now it's up against the fireplace wall, but I don't have any confidence that that's where it's going to stay. So I have no reason to believe that the booth I do the first time is going to be the right booth for me. I'm going to get it right, perfectly right the first time. So I'd like to have a booth that is impermanent. I don't want it to be, if it's there, I don't want to be locked into that forever. Because what if I find by the time winter's over that corner sucks for some reason? It's cold, it gets water, there's something that happens to it. That window has a problem, who knows? I'd like to be able to rethink this without having to start over. So if I can make or buy a booth similar to the Whisper Room that disassembles, that can be moved with some expediency. It doesn't have to be super portable. I don't want to just roll it, but something that can be moved. I'm a big proponent of impermanence. You remember from any of my videos that you've seen about my Whisper Room, I made a lot of modifications to it, but none of them were ever permanent, because I made lots and lots and lots and lots of iterations to it as I refined and I thought, and I got progressively more familiar with what I had. I thought of ways to improve it. And I never wanted to be, well, I sawed something off this thing and now I can't go back and fix it because I really wish I hadn't done it. So I do things with Velcro, I do things with straps, whatever it is, so that I don't make things permanently change. So I don't want to permanently nail into the floor. I don't want to permanently affix myself to the wall. That's probably some additional challenge that I don't need to give myself, but it's the challenge I'm going to give myself. So we'll see. Hopefully I can live up to that. But that's where it goes so far. So my next step is to try and insulate the ceiling. Anyway, that's my update so far. Hopefully in another week or 10 days after the power upgrade is done, I'll have another update. But that's really where it is right now. So get down in your basement, get down in your room, go get into your booth, get something, grab a microphone, and just get out there and just record something amazing. Thanks. We'll talk to you next time.